Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege. I'm so excited about this, really, to introduce you to the president of the Intercontinental Chamber of Commerce organization, and especially the Houston Intercontinental Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Reggie Gray.
Hey. Thank you. It is a privilege and an honor to get to speak to you all today, after especially hearing some of your speeches, which I'm going to comment on here in a minute. But first, I got to give you a little comments about when Clint and I met. Okay, so the first time we met, we'd had correspondence for a while, and we finally met in Mexico City. Okay, two Americans, we meet in Mexico City because him and I travel everywhere. Like, we even joked about this on Facebook today when we got here. I'm like, yeah, I was trying to figure out what city you were in. And he goes, well, at least, yeah, but I was trying to figure out what country you were in. And because we travel a lot, we have a lot of good camaraderie. Kind of a couple alpha males, though. We have some exchanges. So we meet Mexico City, and we're talking, and we're talking about people that we've met and that we've known, right? And we both know we've met a lot of people, so it's not really a name-dropping thing. Come on, it's a couple alpha males going, oh, yeah? Well, how about this? You know, so he's like, I've met so-and-so. And I'm like, well, I've met, Prince of Bahrain. Oh, well, I've met, Martha Stewart. And, well, I've met Sarah, the Duchess of York. Oh, well, I've met so-and-so. Well, I've met the president. Oh, well, I met the president in his underwear. And then he's like, well, who do you think handed him the underwear? So I'm like, all right, you win. You win. I didn't see him get out of the shower. Yeah. So, so we kind of have these fun exchanges and things. So, but I am, too, a recent author. I have a book, okay? It is bestseller. Remember you said do that. But now, I've written one, right? It just came out in March. Okay, this guy's written like 20. So I help companies and businesses and things too, and he's great, and obviously well polished at what he does, at helping individuals. And so as I was watching you guys talk, and I loved the way, and I've told some of you, that you owned your stories. And in a chamber, and I've been a vice president of marketing for a guy who's an Academy Award film producer. I've been a VP of global logistics. I've been to almost 70 countries worldwide. I've been blessed. I have seen and done amazing things that most people will never get to do in their lifetime, or will take multiple people to do. I'm really blessed. But so the speakers I've heard, they'll talk about things in their life, they'll reference them, but they touch on them and they touch it and run. Your stories you own, and they're very inspiring. And I think that will make you really good speakers and very good presenters, because in a Chamber of Commerce, we get questions for a lot of people to speak all the time. I mean, I could probably show you a couple just from this week. And I'll be honest, I look at them and go, okay. Because a lot of times the information I get or what they ask, you can tell it's a blanket email. And the way they're presenting themselves is just that apparently everybody in my chamber sucks and are all going to go bankrupt unless they get to hear from this one person. And it looks like their background is they've owned one company and sold it after a year. I mean, I don't know, it just astounds me. The people in my chamber are people like former undercover FBI and CIA, DEA, Crane Worldwide's on my board. That's Jim Crane, who owns Astro, self-made billionaire. Other billionaires, Farouk Shami, self-made billionaire, owns cheap products. I mean, I've got some like who's who. So when I see that, I'm thinking, oh, Jim McInvale, Gallery Furniture, if you're not from here, you'll see his ads if you watch any TV while you're here. These people don't suck. These are some of the best in the entire world at what they do. So for you to tell me that unless these guys hear you, I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully we're going to get into that. I'm going to tell you some angles or approaches on how they will listen to you or how it's going to appeal to them to get to hire you. Now, the last thing I'd like to say is that I've been very blessed. I had a great career, and people ask me, what are you going to do when you retire? And I go, why would I retire? I get paid to fly all over the world, meet all kinds of industries. I have spoken internationally in Mazatlan, Mexico City, Malta, Monaco, Moscow, even cities not with the letter M, okay? But I'm everywhere. And I have a great time. I have gotten people out of prisons in the Dominican Republic. I have been asked to go into prisons in Mexico City to figure out why somebody stole $170 million. I have met with people with Muslim Brotherhood behind the pyramids of Cairo. I had to meet with people trying to figure out diamonds in Zurich and then go to Moscow and then back to Zurich. People in Panama, Colombia, people who were former cartels, So part is in my book, but I have like 3 books that I'm supposed to follow up with my publisher. The second book that's coming out, we've already announced it, it's I May Never Come This Way Again. Well, if you haven't figured it out, and so I'm coming out because I'm not doing anymore, but I've been a former asset for the FBI and the CIA. So there were a lot of things that I did that I was very much in harm's way. There's things that I put that, there's a picture I took where I'm standing and the pyramids are behind me, and my meeting was going to be behind those pyramids. It's a Facebook post. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see it. And most people don't know it. They just think, oh, Fred just traveling again. No, that was a breadcrumb because I didn't know if I would come back from that meeting. I didn't know if I would survive. I thought my body might end up buried in the sands somewhere, okay? So that was my lead to people that I connect with to know where I was staying, the viewpoint from my roof, and where to start looking for me. And so there's a lot of depth and stuff. I come across, I have these 3 little personalities people talk. Reggie, which is the business guy. Jack, which is kind of the fun guy. That's a whole nother story. And then Johnny Show. Johnny Show is the game show kind of guy. Kind of a little bit really what you're getting now, Johnny Show. But those are all important things in the way that I do business or I do things. And there's some very intense moments and very intense projects that I've been blessed to be a part of and had to get into. And you know, some of my best friends are undercover bureau and CIA and DEA. And one of my best friends wrote the foreword of my book, Mike Anderson. He's the guy that prosecuted Enron. So there's a lot of depth to the things that I do. And so the comments that I hope to give today, and I don't forget a Q&A, I hope so, but I will be as honest, and I'm known for this, very animated, very blunt as possible. What you see is what you get, like it or not, okay? But you guys have been in great hands. Clint, as you already know, is phenomenal. There's a history of being phenomenal. I'm so proud to get to call him a friend, and I love getting to face off with him from time to time. But he's doing phenomenal things with you guys. I saw how polished you were already, and I thought, is he asking me to speak so that maybe these people, he can use me as an example of what not to do?
Oh, come on.
Or is he asking me to speak so that, you know, I could have this Texas thing and go, you too can suck at talking and be an international talker, you know? So I'm like, what does he want me to do? So I guess now I'm going to turn to you and you tell me, what do you want out of me, baby?
You're doing great. I mean, this is what I want tomorrow. When you show up to be on the TV show, see how I just said, Reggie Gray, and I basically wound him up and then he went. He just went. And I'm not pulling it out of him. He's just talking, telling interesting, fun stuff that he wants to say. That's all I want from anybody who's on my TV show or sitting in this stool in front of an audience, is to come up here and say some stuff that's important to you. That's all. That's all you got to do. So great job and being an example of how to just be the show. Write that down on your pads. Be the show. Very good. So what is your best advice? I mean, you have a lot of prominent members of your chamber, and you get a lot of pitches of how to be, you know, from people who want to be speakers at your chamber events. How does a person successfully pitch you to become a speaker at your Chamber of Commerce? That's what I want to know. What's the key?
Well, what I've noticed so far is that some of these are specific stories that I think have a certain niche, especially some of the women's industries and some of the things that have happened to you, which are very heartfelt. I think that there are specific conferences that the chambers have sometime where you would be more of a panel or a keynote at maybe that particular focused event. What I would do, whenever you're going to go to the chambers, and they vary. Your bigger city chambers have a bigger scale of the way they do things and the speakers they need. Your regional chambers, sometimes they are looking for speakers because they want to have a lunch and they make money off the lunch, let's be honest. And so they want a good story. You mainly want to show that you're not trying to say that everybody sucks unless they hire you and they're all going to go bankrupt, you know, except if they listen to you. But instead, that, and you guys are going to have some footage now, which will help, okay, to show that you're established and you've got some credibility. But you're going to be able to show that these are the topics that will be of interest, maybe for a particular conference, a particular committee that's large. And what I would do is I would research each chamber before you send them things or you ask them. Because they're usually going to have an agenda or their calendar of what they're doing. And you may already see things that are plugged in that you know you could suggest you speak at. okay? Because a lot of them have an annual calendar, same stuff over and over. Suggest that you be a speaker for that. Now, another thing that helps, too, is some of you've got, and you in this room are very fluent, you're good. So there's probably connectivity that you can bring that maybe show like a sponsorship or something. Like say you have a good brand behind you or a previous brand where you've worked or whatever. And just say, my brand and my company, and you might say, we'd like to sponsor, we'll connect you or explain how to sponsor. So there's something in it for them because they're always trying to find a monetary value to help sustain the institution, the chamber, and so on. And the thing is what I say, don't worry about making money at the chamber because they're nonprofit. That's not where you're going to make your money. You want all the people that are at the event and all those assorted companies and all those executives to hear you because then they are the ones that will hire you to come speak maybe at Halliburton or at Microsoft or at Dell or, okay, they are the ones that will pay you and make the money. You just want to get there because that's where you're going to get the biggest cross traffic of everybody, that there is. And it, kind of this, I started my week at the U.S. Global Leadership Coalition, okay? It's kind of like, best way I can put it is kind of like the who's who leaders of America. I mean, it was my first, I've just come on the board a few months ago. I get there though, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I met like the head of the Fulbright Foundation, generals, ambassadors. It was phenomenal. I mean, Colin Powell's been on it, Condoleezza Rice, Susan Fulbright, on and on, okay? And then we met with congressional leaders and Senator Cruz, so on, hoping to influence foreign policy. We're trying to influence and help things more about helping rather than sending, DOD stuff. And I'm sitting there and meeting all these phenomenal people. At one point, I'm like, is there a kiddie table? I'm pretty sure I should be at the kiddie table because these guys are, wow, And as I was sitting there, I even called somebody, I said, I think I'm meeting with the Illuminati of the U.S. this week, But the thing that's really cool is I've got in this room, and I was listening to you guys and listening to your stories and things, and I'm like, you guys are phenomenal. You guys are great. This is like your own little Illuminati. I mean, you guys, congratulations on your success and your abilities and your unique stories. I have to be honest, I was afraid I was going to get here and I was going to get some, and I'd have to humor, I'd be polite. But you guys pack a punch, okay? And so I think you just really need to find out who you're going to speak to and don't make it a blanket thing. Know about that organization. When you offer it, let them know that you know the organization. And just go, I see that you have a women's conference, or I see that you talk about, you have a medical conference, and those are big, okay? I could be a speaker at the medical conference, or I could do this. And after you've done some keynotes, then you can go, I could be the keynote, because I've already been a keynote here, here, and here. Or say, I've done these panels, blah, 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 and it'll fill it in. And again, don't worry about the angle of trying to get paid there, because it's the people in the audience you want to get to that will be at that event, not the chamber itself, right? We're just a platform. We're a forum. So, but it's a great forum.
Very good.